Hey all, welcome to shelf number 15. Almost there. Just this one and one more for that room, and then we're into this room where the publishers start grouping together a bit more. Again, 4 games in front of me, completely different publishers, nice little mix, get on with it. So, abacuspeal first, Airlines Europe. This one, I mentioned the other day when I talked about Stockpile that I had one other share market game on the list. This was the one I was referring to, but yeah, this isn't really share market manipulation. This is not that type of game. This is more Ticket to Ride with a share set collection thing bolted onto it, basically. But this one is kind of the level that I want those. I mean, you could argue this is kind of like those train games. You know, you invest in a company, you put the roots down, the company gets better, and you're hoping to make the best reward for the shares you have. It's kind of like those heavy train games in a sense, you could argue, but then whereas those take about 3 to 4 hours and are mind-numbingly boring, this one takes about 60 to 90 minutes tops and is a bit more fun. So with this one, very much like a kind of Ticket to Ride style game, you are placing these airline routes on the map, connecting from A to B. But what happens is that each one has got its own number of shares in its company. And when most of the game is about collecting and managing this portfolio of shares, because every time you put an airline thing down, it boosts the value of the airline. And the longer the airline route, chances are the more valuable it is. However, there are some other factors. But the more shares you have, you're looking to get the majority scoring bonus when the interim scorings turn up, I think in 3 separate occasions in the game, 2 in the middle and 1 at the end. You will score based on when the card comes out of the deck. So you don't know necessarily when it's going to turn up. And you're like, I really need a couple more blue shares, but if I don't get it now, can I wait another round? I'll wait one more round. It should be all right. Oh, come on. And then it comes out and then you've lost your chance. It's very simple though. You've got 1 of 4 actions to take. Take money from the bank. Do something with, take money from the bank. Get dividends, which is basically just collect money based on what shares you have. And then I think there's play a certain amount of cards, and then there's draw a card. You know, I mean, I forget the exact actions, but it's 1 of 4 actions. They're all really easy. That's your turn. And then you deal with the scoring. As long as you understand how the relationship between putting the airline pieces down and the company's value changes, which is pretty straightforward, and as long as you're not colorblind, you'll be all right in this game. Yeah, if you're colorblind, you're going to have trouble here. But it's a really solid game. I know, I played it recently at home with the family, and my parents struggled to understand it too much, but then my parents have to play stupidly simple games. We're talking Splendor and Sushi Go, and even then Mum might struggle with Sushi Go. So, you know, they have to be very simple, you know, gateway games. But this is definitely, I think, a gateway level game for those who want to look into that kind of like share portfolio thing. And I think it's a really solid one. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Right, this one I haven't played in a while, but I would like to get it to the table again because I've got the expansion in it as well. Pearl Games Deus. Deus is underrated, I feel. I mean, there are dry card management games these days that get so much buzz, and I'm just like, yeah, they're not that interesting, or they feel like anything else. Why that one over this? It's like this one is a 90-minute game. It looks interesting on the table. I can't say it's like the best artwork ever, and it's kind of weird that it is very abstracted, but it looks super colourful on the table. I mean, you've got the huge, like the teardrop style map with lots of different colours, looks great, and you've got your tableau of these cards. But this is kind of actually, yeah, this is what, you know, Skytopia, the new game that Cosmodrome Games is putting out. That is essentially a slightly simpler version of this, where you're placing cards out, and when you trigger a certain effect, you trigger a column, and you trigger all the effects in that column. So you can build up a column to give you a ton of stuff, but you need to make certain you trigger it, or you can space yourself out more. Skytopia does something very similar, but I have played Skytopia. It's okay, but I don't think there's enough card variety to keep it that interesting for too long, and there is some, like, with this one, there is some interaction, but you don't feel you've got knocked out or you've got really beaten on. With Skytopia, just by sheer dumb luck, bad timing, you can get screwed over. And I did find that some of the card abilities in that game were a little bit overpowered. But, I mean, like I say, I'd have to play it some more to find out for certain. But this is one that I still really like. It's fun to build up those card combos. The rules are not difficult. The Egypt expansion in here, I think it was Egypt, basically throws in another card type for all the colours. So you can mix and match. You can create your own unique game with this. It's underrated. Try it. Z loves this one. I think this is Z Garcia's top 10. And it's a great one. I love this one. Right, photosynthesis. Depending when this video comes out, you will have seen me talk about the insert from eRaptor that I've put in this, although I don't know which one's going to air first. But this one is a solid gateway level game. It's got a great theme to it. Yes, it's an abstract game pretty much, but it's a different type of theme. You're all growing these trees from seed to big, harvesting the trees and getting victory points. But the way the trees grow is thematic, despite it being essentially an abstract game. The trees grow, and as they do, they cast a shadow over, like, in their lines on the grid, and your trees struggle to get light, which is like your currency for buying stuff, without light. So if a big tree is overshadowing your little tree doesn't produce anything. And the sun will keep rotating around the board, generating light in different directions, which means that you can predict, sort of, when in future rounds, that round's not going to give me a lot of light. Maybe I should conserve a bit for now. But then you know that 2 rounds later, it's like, oh, I'm going to get a ton for that one. As long as no one blocks me, I'm getting a ton of light there. And it's just a neat, simple abstract. It is an Instagrammer's wet dream in terms of photo ops. It is like one of the most gorgeous games to take photos off for Instagram, because you've got all these cardboard standee trees. I mean, not everything has to be miniatures, guys. You know, cardboard standees look good too. And yeah, it's just really simple, really nice. I've not actually tried the advanced variant in here though. Has anybody done that? The one where if you're in shadow, you don't even grow? Or whatever it is, something like that. Has anybody tried it? I'd like to know. My worry with the advanced variant is that 4 rounds seems a bit too long. I think 3 rounds is ample. 4 rounds just sounds like it would go on too long. But I don't know. I'd like to hear your feedback, guys. And then finally, yes, I talk about this one a lot. Possibly my favourite racing game, or maybe my second favourite. I don't know. But Downforce is definitely one you got to do. I mean, in fact, I just put this in my top 10 essential games list, and I stand by that. You want a racing game for your collection, this is the one you should grab. It'll do up to 6 players. It scales well. It is dirt simple. A small little bidding phase for grabbing your cars, then the 1 lap of the track, and then total up your money, lose what you pay for the car, winner, most money. Straightforward as all get out. But there's a good amount of interaction because you're moving everybody's cars when you play a card. And you're deliberately trying to boost yours forward whilst blocking everybody else's. Kind of a simplified version of Ave Caesar. It's just a really neat game. Now granted, Formula 1 is a boring concept and a boring theme. But then I've pimped this one out with Mario Kart, Monopoly Kart Gamer racing models. So it's a lot better to have that kind of thing in there. I mean, try and get the things out. Probably can't see them. You won't be able to see them on the camera, I don't think. But I mean, I got Luigi, say Donkey Kong, Toad, my favourite character in the entire Mario franchise, Yoshi. I absolutely love Yoshi. And yeah, I don't sacrifice Yoshi, Mario, you heartless. Any Super Mario World fans will know exactly what I'm on about with that one. But yeah, Downforce, really cool racing game. It got expansion map packs. I've already bought one of them. It's a really good one. I use it all the time. Wild Ride is out apparently in the States. When am I going to get it in the UK? I want it now. I want it now. So I want it now. Hurry up and get this virus out of the way so we can have Wild Ride in my country. But yeah, solid racing game. This goes well at every teaching event, all Gateway Gamers events. It's just solid. Right, one more. Then we're done with the second room. And then there's a lot more. Oh boy. Oh well, one more for today.